Welcome, everybody! Casting for Two, the podcast, with your host, Chris. I am that one guy that you might have heard of, but don't really know personally, but, you know, you hear good things, so, he's not bad. Parents like him, that's for sure. I don't know what that was, but thank you once again for joining me today on this episode. This is number 54. Episode 54. I think my podcast might outlive me in number-wise. I'm not making it to 54, but at least this podcast did, and it's going to keep going. Yeah, you heard me. That's right. But quick shout-out to the person who invented shout-outs. He's a good guy. He gives us, hope for the future and the ability to say shout out too. So thank you, shout out guy too. How do I transition into the next music? So my guests today, the very very talented musicians. They're in a band called the William Pilgrim and the All Grown Ups. I talked to Phillip Romero and Ishmael Herring. It's funny because I had a great chat with them. Wackiness ensues, but oh man, their music is so good, and their new album comes out on Tuesday, the 26th. So I recommend you guys go buy it, or better yet, go on their website and purchase the vinyl copy because everyone knows vinyl is awesome. So sit back, relax, and listen to me chat with Ish and Phillip. And have yourself a good day after the episode, because I'm not going to be able to say that. So, yeah. Chris, cue the music, please. Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, how are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great, just kind of chilling. I like to get to the meetings early because I like listening to that, the sweet holding song.
Yeah, we're going to do a 20-minute version of that piece on our next album.
Are you? Okay. Why 20 minutes? I feel like it could be a whole album.
I think you're right, so we'll probably have to reevaluate that. But, yeah, that is probably the most horrific music. Someone has to get on the phone and do something about that.
One time when I was waiting, it was the first time I ever heard it. I was listening to it, and I go, maybe I can beatbox to this. And I started making up my own little jam, which will never see the light of day.
It's got to be better than what's there now.
Yeah, exactly. So, but how's your day going?
It is going fantastic. I think Ish, we're in a different place here, so he should be on momentarily. But
okay.
It's been good. It's been really good. We're getting ready to release the full album here in a couple of weeks, and been doing it up. So it's been really good, especially being stuck in the studio for so long to give birth to it. It's nice for it to finally be hatched.
Right. Yeah, out into the world.
Yes.
Right on. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to sit in silence until Ish comes on, okay? Sound good?
Sounds good.
No, that'd be too boring. I guess we'll chat a little bit, and then when he hops on, we'll go from there. It's
Sounds good.
It's a loose show, we can talk about whatever, so I just like to keep it fun and interesting. That's it.
That's good. How long have you been with them?
With who?
With the casting program. Did you tell me a little bit about it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Casting for Two is it's my own little, it's my baby, and I just hit my year last year, or not last year, last month. But I've been doing podcasts for altogether probably around 3 years now.
What made you do it? We have a really good friend who does something similar out here in LA. His name is Mike Stark, and he does the LA LA radio studio show, and he just loves it. I mean, he just really is a big fan of music, and he could chat about music and rock music for days. Well, I'm always curious, people who do this. I mean, what was the rationale behind creating it?
So the rationale behind it was on my last podcast. It was kind of it was me and two other guys, and we would chat about all things entertainment, movies, TV, stuff like that. And they actually work in the film industry, so it was getting harder and harder to work with their schedules. And and since they live in Canada and I live in the States, we communicate through Skype, so I need them to be there. And then there just came this thing where I got a little frustrated trying to force them into doing like, hey, let's record, come on. And so I said, well, let's just take a break then, because you guys are obviously busy and I don't want to do bad content or any stuff that I don't find funny or anything like that. And then I was just kind of sitting around, and on that podcast, I would find people to interview. And I said to myself, why don't I just do that? Because I had a lot of fun just chatting with random people. And since my schedule I can work with their schedule, so it just made sense to me. And
to do it.
Yeah, and so I just did it. So, and yeah, that's it came out of me wanting, because I like podcasting. I love and I don't talk to just musicians. I talk to comedians, actors, gamers, like anybody. I'll really talk to anybody. I like talking with people, so.
I gotta ask, who's the most interesting?
The most interesting. Okay, so I talked to a lot of interesting people. The last two guests that I had were pretty interesting. But the most I ever had the fun time chatting was I went to a convention earlier in July. And it was I don't know if you're familiar with Rooster Teeth or anything like that. They produce.
No, what's that?
Oh, so they're like an entertainment company that produces videos about video gaming, movies, music, all that good stuff. And so I was able to get media passes so I can run around during the convention, and then I scheduled some interviews. And I've never done live interviews, so that was fun to do for the first time, but just chatting with people who I've watched their content, for years. It was very exciting and just fun to do. And I remember I was getting, because I was such a fan, I was kind of getting a little bit scared to talk to them. But but as soon as you sit down and you say hi to them, it's like, oh, they become people. They're just regular people. But the interviews I had with them, or the conversations I had, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So
that's great.
So,
well, I don't know where Ish is going here. I sent him a message here.
Now, where are you guys in the same city? Just kind of different areas, or?
Yeah, he's just getting off work right now. So we're in Orange County in Los Angeles.
Okay. And how do you like it? Are you from the California area, or?
I'm from Southern California here and moved around a little bit, and Ish is from Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay.
And he ended up taking a bus ride out here and never leaving.
There we go. I love when people can do that. Just, you know what? I'm just gonna go there. Let's see what happens, and then hey, it works out for the best.
Yeah, that literally was his thinking.
Yeah. I unfortunately I always think about future Chris. Like, would future Chris approve of this? And 9 out of 10 times it's no. So that's what keeps me like, well, I guess I'll just, not move out to, wherever I want to go. So.
Yeah, well, that's, I think, is probably the difference between Ish and I. I'm the planner, the thinker. He's the live in the moment kind of guy.
Yeah. So now, I'm very much a planner. I mean, sometimes I have, plans from A to Z just because that's just how I think sometimes. There are those moments where it's just like, hey, I'm going to be a little spontaneous and do it. But for some reason, it doesn't feel spontaneous to me. Like, I moved out to Chicago probably 6 months ago now, and it's been really fun. I've still yet to fully embrace the city, but the decision was just so quick to do it. It was just, hey, do you want to move to Chicago? Sure, and then that's it. That's it. But it made sense to me. So,
where are you from originally?
So I'm a child of the States. So I was born in El Paso, Texas, but I grew up in Oregon, Salem, Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 years ago I moved to San Antonio, Texas, and now I'm here in Chicago. So.
Well, that's a far cry from Texas, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's nothing against Texas at all. I love Austin. Austin's a blast. But Texas and I just weren't getting along. We're just two very different people.
I can get it. And you can probably find a little relief in Austin and the surrounding area there, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny because, I mean, my parents were born and raised there, and my sister was pretty much born and raised there. And I'm the only weirdo who's like, I have no attachment to this place. So.
And now you are in Chicago.
Yeah. So that's why it's easy for me to just pick up and move around. So.
All right. So I don't know where Ish is. Do you want me to try to text him here and call back? Do you want to do it on our own? I mean, what's your preference?
Let's keep going. I don't mind this. Yeah, okay. I'm having fun.
Okay. Good.
Just chatting. But so I'd like to talk to you. I just like to. I wouldn't say I'm a musician. Can I play music? I mean, sure, whatever. But I'm always fascinated with people who can just pick up some sort of instrument, whether it's, guitar, drums, keyboards, or their voice, and just, produce something beautiful. For you growing up, what was music something around you when you were growing up?
My parents were not musical, but I've always been attracted to the performance. So we had Neil Young laying around, and of course Beatles albums and Fleetwood Mac, things like that. So I was always fascinated by music, even though I wasn't living in a musical house.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was one of the first instruments you learned to play?
It's always been guitar. That has been I was always attracted and always enthralled with the guitar player. That was the instrument, and my first guitar was probably about a $30 Sears acoustic special, and I remember taking guitar lessons from some hippie woman. She was probably about 70, and this was in the late 70s, and that's how I learned to play. Old Dylan songs and folk songs, things like that. And then once I had about a year under my belt, start playing with the church, the local church, and that kind of broke up the monotony of being in church for an hour every Sunday.
Yeah.
I have ADD, so it's hard to focus for that long without actually doing something.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I remember for sure going to church and just whenever, and I grew up Catholic, so whenever they would, the altar boys would ring the bells, that's when I would like really chime in. I go, whoa, they're ringing the bells. That guy's offbeat. They're not synced together. What's going on here? That and I mean, I didn't I don't think I had ADD. I think I was just a boy who was just not sure what was going on, so I would find other things to do. But it's
Well, I
amazing.
get it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's amazing that how there was this one guitar player at our church who would just like go crazy and just really just jam out, and I would just always think he could probably, I don't know his story, but he could probably, be like touring right now just because he was that good.
Yeah, the church is the breeding ground for that. See, I was the bell ringer. I was
Mhm.
an altar boy, grown, raised Catholic. And again, in the late 70s, I'm sitting there ringing the bells, bringing the book, lighting the candles, doing that kind of stuff. And our particular church figured out that they would get more attendance if they had a more of a hip folk type of music in the congregation. So I would sit up there ringing the bells, and I would watch these long-haired hippies, play their acoustic guitar and sing these folk hymns. And I was thinking, that is a far better gig than this bell ringing thing I'm doing right now.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And that's how I joined the band.
There you go. There you go. And did you, since you were doing guitar, did you ever do music in school, or it was just strictly like lessons and stuff and, free time?
In junior high, I joined the band again to try to, learn more and try to get out of the less desirable electives that I had a choice of in middle
Yeah.
school. But yeah, I joined the not the marching band, but the orchestral band.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I wanted to play one of the bigger instruments, the tuba, but I was not that big of a kid, and I think my parents kind of figured out the cost of the larger instruments was far greater than the smaller instruments. So I think I had a choice between clarinet and flute, and I chose the flute.
Gotcha. It's really funny because growing up, my sister was in marching band, my mom was in my dad was in marching band, so it was just it was going to happen that I would be in marching band in general. And I would always watch my sister, my sister's high school band, and I was always jealous of the percussionists just because
Oh yeah,
they just looked so cool, and they had all these toys. I still consider them toys, but I mean, yeah. And so I remember when I entered middle school, finally I was going to start taking band, and I wanted to play percussion. More drum set than anything because I love the drums. But they said, you look like a tuba player, and they slapped a tuba on me, and that was it for a couple of years, and that made me sad.
well, I think that every guitar player has a secret desire to be the drummer or a tuba player because so much so that even on this last album, we have tuba, I think, featured on 2 of the different songs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because I mean, when I was doing marching with the tuba, tuba players got a lot of attention, and I never understood why. I mean, I always felt like we were the low end of the brass section, well, literally the low end, but the low man on the totem pole. But really, we were the awesome ones that we played our oompas and got out of there.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
we didn't mess around.
I think, unfortunately, back in my day, the band director would always pick the big fat kids
Right.
and designate them as the tuba player.
Yeah.
Even if that's not what they wanted, they needed to have the guy who could actually carry that instrument around. So I think that's how that choice was made, at least in my school.
But no, that's 100% what happened with me because I was the bigger kid in school, and they're like, "Yeah, tuba here." I was like, "All right," but I mean, it was a little bit bittersweet because I mean, now that I'm older and out of high school and school in general, I can appreciate the tuba, and sometimes I wish I had one just to see if I can still play it.
I'm sure your neighbors would love you.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I did eventually get into percussion drum set because I remember talking with my dad, and he was like, "Yeah, let's get you lessons." And then there you go. I started taking lessons, and I started out playing jazz drums, and that kind of now the rest is kind of history. So
that's good.
So
the love of music.
Exactly. I don't consider myself a musician though. I just have fun. That's it.
We try to do that as well. We try to focus more on the fun than the musician part of it.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So you play in school and all that good stuff. When do you meet Ish?
Ish, I met, I believe, in 2011, and how that happened is I was working on a music project and I was looking for a singer, and Ish was living on the streets with no money and posted a free Craigslist ad offering his singing services for $100. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was just answering different ads and listening to samples of people who could sing, and Ish's voice was the one voice that really stood out amongst all these different singers. And at the time, he didn't have a phone, he didn't have a house, he didn't have any of the basic stuff that you need to be efficient in returning calls. So he would never return my call, or he would return an email and then I wouldn't hear from him. And I had pretty much all but given up on him, and he calls me out of the blue. And I said, okay, come on out, let me, hear you. But I had pretty much, in my mind, thought that I was going to go a different direction. I was just kind of doing it more as a courtesy than anything else. Mm-hmm. And he came out to my studio, and we just clicked. And his voice was incredible. And, we, from that point on, formed the band, and, the rest is history.
Ishmael.
And speaking of Ish, the cops are chasing him. Quick, get off the road!
Sounds like,
oh man,
sounds like he's in a war zone.
Did Skynet fall? Is Skynet going on?
Hey, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Barely.
Forgive me. I fell asleep on the bus, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I would prefer you to get sleep instead of not get sleep and talk to me, because then I would feel bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no, I'm on a busy street waiting for another bus, so I gotta be awake.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, that was a grand entrance, if nothing else.
There we
go. Yes, I'm sorry. But I'm in good spirits. I'm in great spirits and wide awake. My apologies once again.
No worries. We were just talking about how Phillip met you.
Yeah, we met through Craigslist, a random Craigslist ad. It was fate.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to hear?
I don't remember. I
gave him the story.
Yeah.
All right. So would you like to hear?
Yo, I got it. Ish, can you get somewhere where it's quiet, dude?
Yeah. 1 second. All right, hold on. Step in the store right quick. All right, it's a lot quieter in here. Can you hear me now?
Much better.
There we go.
Cool. Yeah, fire engines and stuff.
No worries. No, he literally just finished telling the story, and then you popped on.
Yeah, I'm glad he was able to help you. So, is there any questions I can answer for you?
Well, I mean, I asked Phillip where his musical background came from. Where did yours come from? Where was music something that was always in your life? Yeah, growing up?
Yeah, it was always in play. What really got me going was watching the Michael Jackson videos of the 80s. Mm-hmm. Right as I was born, he was pretty much the king of the world. So you had Thriller and Billie Jean, and had this culture out there. And it was pretty much watching Michael Jackson that made me want to do this for the rest of my life. So I started singing when I was a little boy. Mm-hmm. And then when I was a teenager, I became heavily influenced by country music and just that songwriting style. And so I guess I mixed country and pop and R&B together to do what I do now. And here we are.
Mm-hmm. And Phillip said you came from Kansas City. You just took a bus out to L.A. and that was it?
Yeah, I took a Greyhound bus out here. It was my last, I believe, $200. Mm-hmm. I took a Greyhound bus to California because I knew that I was going to be on the street. And I was like, well, if you're going to land on the street, don't do it in Kansas, bro. And so I just hopped the bus to Hollywood, California, stepped off the bus with a guitar and no money and an Old Navy pea coat.
There we go. Do you still have that pea coat?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Do not have that P-coat. I gave that P-coat away a long time ago.
Okay, all right. Yeah, leave it in the past. That's fine.
All right. Well, I mean, I really wish I could have retained that P-coat because now I don't have one, so I'm regretting the giving away part, yeah.
Now, do you need one in L.A.?
Oh, no, you don't need one in L.A., but I had this foolish assumption that there was like a secret Pico club, and if you were really, really cool, if you were a gentleman, you had one. Thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a style thing. Yeah.
Gotcha. And see, I don't know anything about style. I mean, I just wear T-shirts and shorts, so yeah, I would have never been accepted into the Pico club.
Oh, hey, man, it was hard for me to get in, and as you know, being homeless, I had to impersonate, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even being homeless, there's a definite higher standard of style out here in LA.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Homeless folks, it's either, when I was on the street, I was one of the few kids or folks that I know that tried to keep up their appearances. Everybody else didn't really care.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure there are homeless people out there with more money than I am in LA, just because they got a rep to keep up. I get it.
That's right.
Well, I guess they must be really, really hard working. As you know, being poor is often very expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. Not everybody can afford it. Man. I'm just sitting here looking at random combs here. I'm walking through the hygiene section, looking at nothing.
Oh, okay.
Holy crap. All right. Here's my bus. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Hey. Oh, never mind. I missed it. Never mind. Shit.
You're going to have to stay indoors, man.
Yeah. All right.
So, you missed, what'd you miss?
Oh, nothing, bro.
Oh, okay.
He was trying to catch a bus.
Oh, now I feel horrible.
There'll always be another.
Yeah.
That's true. You just gotta. So where are you at? Are you in a store right now?
Yeah, I ducked into a Walgreens.
Oh, okay. Now, are people looking at you really awkwardly, or can you tell us what some of the sales are?
Oh, yeah, they have, let me see, they had a sale on Q-tips, $35 off Bounty Cotton Swab.
Nice.
For $3.29. I don't know what you're going to need 500 Q-tips for. I'm going to watch that guy. And let's see here. They got some Nasacort allergy relief that's way too expensive. I would rather be sick.
Okay,
I'm gonna text you my grocery list right now.
All right. Nice.
Let me just say, I love moments like this that they're just completely unplanned. This is what I love.
Actually, we planned this.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, never mind. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah, man. If we can as long as I can pull this off, this should be pretty cool.
So,
and they don't have Trojans. All right.
Oh, okay. Dang. Well, all right.
Yeah.
So head on to the other Walgreens then.
All right.
Today's sponsor is Walgreens and Trojan.
Oh yeah. The sense of those Trojans are.
So what can you guys tell me about the new album? When did you guys start recording it? And how long was that?
We started recording this album almost 2 years ago, and we took our sweet time to make sure we came up with something cool. And we just now finished up the album maybe a month ago. Phil may have something for that as well.
Yeah, this album is a little different. The first album, as I said, was kind of pretty much done before Ish got aboard. Mm. And as soon as we completed it, we realized that we were really great songwriters together. And so we immediately started crafting the songs for this new album. So this album, I think, is a truer picture of who we are, what we're about, and what it's like to combine the very dissimilar backgrounds that Ish and I have.
Okay. And is there one particular song that, I mean, I'm sure you love them all because you recorded them all and you did them all, but is there one particular song that sticks out for you guys?
For me, I mean, the one that's obvious is the first single, which is In the Street, and it seems like such a poignant song right now with everything that's going on in Ferguson, Missouri, with the shooting of Michael Brown. Mm-hmm. It speaks to violence in the street, and the song itself was written about that very thing, about someone being gunned down in the street. And so as we release that single and that video today, it just seems to have extra meaning.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm only here to take this call because it was too loud out there. Yeah. 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 I would go with In the Street as well. I would say it's the strongest song on the album as far as storytelling goes, mm-hmm. you know, and it seems to be hitting a lot of corners. It was challenging for me as a songwriter because it made me look at belief and just honestly, what is belief? Why do we need belief? And somehow these things get us through the day. And the kind of the idea is that this song is about when you have those special beliefs. This song is about what happens when your beliefs crash with reality. You know, because we can have all the faith we want, all the belief we want, but if we can't accept the fact of reality, then all that goes out the window. And I think me and the entire world has that very same problem.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And one last thing I'd like to bring up is or talk to you guys about how was the writing process for you guys? I cannot, and I've said this before, I cannot write a song to save my life. If you want me to write a 10-page rom-com, I'm your guy. But songs, I'm screwed. I can't do it.
You know, our process is kind of chaotic. You know, inspiration comes in spurts, and sometimes for not a long. You know, it evades you for a long time. So, you know, we have kind of, as independent songwriters, have kind of figured out a way to work together. And I think that it works really, really well. But it's, you know, to describe it and this is what we do is probably pretty difficult. I'm always inspired by the people who can sit there and commit and write on a regular basis.
I pretty much agree with that. A lot of what happens with us is, as you know, at least with me, the pieces come to me. The song comes to me in pieces, and I have like a few really cool pieces. And so I'll pretty much take it to Phil, and Phil's more of a song structure guy, so he knows just how to place things. So he'll take my really cool idea, and then he'll brush it up, add a few cool ideas of his or own, and then we just kind of meet in the middle, and then the song comes out. But I think there's only been one time to where we've actually sat down and been like, hey, let's write a song, because any other time they just kind of come through us, I guess, out of the ether in pieces.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And so when does the new CD come out?
August 26th is the release date, and the single of In the Street and the video is available now.
There you go. And so, unfortunately, the time has come where I don't want this to happen, but it unfortunately has to, where we have to stop chatting. And Ish, I don't want you to miss the next bus.
Oh no, I'm good, man. It's all good, man.
Yeah, no, but still we have to stop. Unfortunately, I want to chat with you guys for 10 hours. You know what? No, I'm going to go one step further. I want to jam with you guys for 10 hours.
He's a tuba player, Ish.
I'm a tuba / drummer / bad beatboxer.
Tuba. You play the tuba?
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat. I will get together and jam on the tuba, I guess.
It's dude, I can bust out Lean on Me on a tuba that would blow your mind. That and Chariots of Fire. I can play that on tuba.
Oh, Lean on Me on a tuba, huh? Well, you know that I would love to hear that.
Let me practice.
I understand the tuba is related to the sousaphone, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Sousaphone just wraps around your body. It's more for marching.
John Phillip Sousa, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know that guy. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah, me too. See, I've been hanging out with his corpse for years.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's
He was
Obamacare,
dead,
so.
yeah.
Obamacare's
Anyway.
good, so. But for the people at home who'd like to follow you, where can they do that?
WilliamPilgrim.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram and all the various social medias. But the good starting point would be WilliamPilgrim.com. And you can link to the video, the music, and everything.
There we go. All right, Phillip, Ish, I had a blast chatting with you guys. Anytime you want to come back, just say the word, and I would be happy to.
Sounds
All
great,
right,
man.
we're going to have to do that soon. Open your calendar, man.
All right.
And bring your tuba.
All right, I'm bringing.
Yeah.
I got it packed. It's going to be hard getting it through airport security, but I can make it happen.
Nice.
Sounds good.
All right, you guys have a good one, okay?
All right,
You too, brother.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.
Hey guys, just a quick reminder, you can always catch up with these episodes on castingfor2.com. You can also follow me at Twitter @castingfor2 or send me an email at castingfor2@gmail.com.